Hey guys, welcome back to another video, and today I want to discuss Baby Yoda. Now Yoda and his species have been shrouded in mystery for as long as Star Wars has been around. There are only 3 known members of Yoda's species that we know of: Yoda himself, Yaddle, and Baby Yoda. And when it comes to their actual species, there's very little that we actually know other than the fact that they are very strong in the Force and seem to live for centuries. But as I said at the very beginning of this video, I want to talk about Baby Yoda. And there's very little that we know of Baby Yoda, other than the fact that he's 50 years old at the time of the show, and ironically is born at the same year as Anakin. And because of the lack of information that we have on Baby Yoda, this leads people to create theories as to why he's so important in the Star Wars timeline. And one leading theory that was created was that Baby Yoda could be the last of his species. This would make sense as to why the Empire has an interest in acquiring this specific child and not acquiring just another member of Yoda's species. And why the Empire wants a member of Yoda's species is unknown, but the leading theory is that they want to clone it and create it into a weapon of some kind. Now this idea in theory comes from the fact that Dr. Pershing, who is one of the people that wanted Baby Yoda, is most likely a cloning scientist based on the patch of his arm, which is the same patch that we see on Clone Cadets in episode 2 when Obi-Wan Kenobi goes to Kamino. Now, as I said, this would make sense as to why the Empire would want this specific child rather than trying to find another member of Yoda's species, because either Baby Yoda is the very last of his species and it's their only opportunity to clone it, or his species are so hard to find that it won't be worth it. Now, cloning a Force user is something that we've seen before in Star Wars, but not in canon. In Legends, Darth Vader cloned his apprentice Galen Merrick after his death on the Death Star. And as we saw, cloning a Force user leads to a lot of problems where it wasn't really worth it for Darth Vader to continue cloning Galen Merrick. And we also saw in Legends that the Emperor cloned several bodies of himself, but at the end of the day, that didn't work out for him and he ended up dying completely. And if they do decide to clone Baby Yoda, this could be detrimental to the galaxy, as an army of Yoda species who are known to be strong in the Force could be basically unstoppable, which leads me to believe that they don't really want to clone it. Because if there's anything about Palpatine that we know for absolutely sure, is that nothing is as it seems to be. And something that I'm a fan of, and I think that would be very interesting, is that Baby Yoda is connected to Rey in some way. We know that Rey was born 15 years after the Battle of Yavin, and The Mandalorian takes place 9 years after the Battle of Yavin. So we have a 6-year gap between when The Mandalorian takes place and Rey was born. And in the episode of The Mandalorian, when he goes back to save Baby Yoda from the client, and we hear Dr. Pershing and the client talk to each other. The client's telling him to extract the stuff and get done with it. And as a quick backstory, we know that Palpatine's master, Darth Plagueis, did a lot of science projects when it comes to the midichlorians. He tried to manipulate them and create life, and this could be something that Palpatine is continuing now. It's possible that at some point in the future of the show, we'll see them be successful in extracting whatever they need out of Baby Yoda and somehow using the midichlorians from whatever they extract and using it to create Rey in some way. I think this would be an interesting way to tie in The Mandalorian to the sequel trilogy, and trust me when I say this, that the last thing I want to see is Baby Yoda harmed in some way, as he's a lovable character now, and I think people would be pissed off if Baby Yoda is harmed. But it's just a theory, and I want to know what you think of this entire video when it comes to Baby Yoda being the last of his species, whether you think they're trying to clone him or they're trying to use him for something bigger like creating Rey. I want to know what you think in the comments down below, and if you want to see more content relating to Star Wars, then subscribe, and I'll see you all in the next one.